Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin with an open box video for you today that has a fun little mixture of coins. I know you're looking for the luster on this guy, but there ain't none. So, the 1889 Carson City, amongst the most scarce and high demand dates on the Morgan Dollar series. Of course, most of the Carson City coins are in high demand. I got this coin certified. Of course, it's an expensive coin. Also, just kind of a nice, even example. It is kind of hard to find these coins without problems, especially in just kind of circulated grades. And so typically you'll see coins they'll be cleaned or kind of bright. And this is just a nice even VG10. Good grade, nice coin. VG by the gray sheet's about 900 and the fine's about 1100. You know, the marketplace is probably somewhere in there on a coin like that currently. Nice even coin. Let's start off on a good note, folks, because now we get to the sour apple. Now, actually, just to compare compare coins, this is what I'm talking about. When you talk about a clean coin, this is like super obviously clean. But I sent this in for a reason because 1894 from the Philadelphia Mint. For those of you who are new to Morgan's, 1894 is one of the most rare dates. But when you have a coin that has a lot of polish to it, like somebody just buffed it out like they did on this coin, that to me is something that can hide if someone removes the mint mark and then kind of polishes the area to hide the fact that the mint mark's been removed. So I was going to send this in regardless just because I needed to make sure to be able to sell it that I can guarantee to someone, hey, this is definitely genuine. And you know, these coins start at like 600 bucks just in good, or pardon me, VG. So of course, harshly cleaned XF details. I actually like the fact that they call it harshly cleaned. My only, what would I say, comment on that is I would love for them to say lightly cleaned on coins, and not just they have cleaned and then they have harshly cleaned. Go ahead and give me a lightly cleaned. You know, give me a little bit more of an explanation of what's going on a coin that they call cleaned, right? I think that's good. I actually like having a few more monikers than less. All right, next up. Okay, so this coin is pretty wild. I'll give you kind of full disclosure. This is yet another coin that I get to, well, maybe I'll break even on. 1921 is just a radical year for coins. Your 1921 quarter is the key date. I want you to notice just how beautiful the luster is on this coin, and then also how there's a change in color here on the right bottom side. So basically when you get from 4, 5, 6 o'clock, see when we turn at this angle and you see all those little lines pop up. So that is a little bit of a scrape mark on there. I wouldn't call it cleaning lines, I just call it like a scuff mark. So the coin itself, you know, I would call uncirculated details, right? Because it's just a really nice looking coin. And for those of you who are trying to put together this series of coins, you just know how tough it is to get a pretty looking coin for your set. Unk details tooled. Now this was once again an interesting use of language. I would never have called this coin tooled because there's nothing intentional about what's going on over there. That is, I don't know if it got in some type of a counting machine and got stuck. But a tooling to me usually would indicate some intentional thing to try to improve the overall surface quality of the coin, which I don't think that's what's happening here. So anyway, what a pretty coin. I think I told you full disclosure, you know, this is you know, a coin that I got raw from a dealer, and you know, it was $1,100, and kind of an interesting coin. You know, it just was marked at AU money, even though it's an unk coin, but it has the problems with it. I still think it's a pretty coin. I still think I'll probably, you know, just kind of break even on it, I guess. But for those of you who are looking for a really cool 21, it has a couple issues, so it's still expensive. But you know, if it were straight graded 63, it would be, you know, 1,500 or more in the current market. Next up, we go from 21 to 21. This is another coin that's just kind of, well, I don't know, I'd say epic. And by that I don't mean this coin in particular, I just mean the year. The 21s are a fun year for collecting coins. If you just want to do 1 year of coins, go ahead and put together a 1921 Unk set from dimes and half dollars and dollars. The 21 I always like because it's got such a different look to it than the other coins, because it was it's called the high relief, and it has much more of a domed look to it. One of the things to pay attention to is oftentimes when there's weakness on a coin, it is on both sides of the coin opposite of each other. This is a very common occurrence on a coin. So sometimes to help you understand when there's weakness or not, that is something to kind of look for. So what I'm going to show you is, you'll see here there is this like soft point right here. You can almost just outline it like a circle, right? Almost dead center on the coin. So now we're going to flip the coin over and look, and there's actually, it almost looks like a dent, right here, right? So you look at that, and there's softness on both sides of the coin, kind of opposite of each other, and that's just because of the way the metal flows when the coin is struck. MS62, really a nice coin, very nice luster to it. It does have a lot of, let me say here, some marking in there in the field and on the cheek. I was really probably thinking I should get at least a 3 out of it, because I didn't feel like those marks were too distracting. But overall, really nice coin. I think gray sheet on this is about a $700 gray sheet, and I think the next grade up is closer to 1,000. So a little bit of a jump there. So we got our 21s rolling and rocking and rolling. Next up, the 030 Morgan originally was, years ago, was considered the rarest Morgan dollar, and then they found a horde of them, and so now it's one of the rarest coins to get in circulated grades, because almost everyone, I think I've only seen like a handful of circulated 030s in my lifetime. Almost every last one of them is going to be a nice, brilliant, uncirculated coin. And it's really an interesting thing, because I don't know the exact movement currently because the market's gone up. But there was a time at which a VG was 300, a fine was 310, a VF was 320, right? Like an XF was 330. It went all the way up. It was like $10 per grade. And so they come pretty nice. This is actually, I think, a really nicely struck example. Some of those omens from that time period are kind of soft. This one has a really strong strike to it. This one is MS64. Gray sheet's about $700 on that coin. Really a nice looking coin overall. And I talk about sometimes how you get happy surprises on different coins, and there's, to me, not a whole lot of difference between this coin and this one. Let's go ahead and take a look here at these two coins. You've got a little bit more contact on the lower cheek on the one on the right, and this guy really, the cheek is really clean. I mean, really kind of the money area on these when you're grading them is going to be this whole area in here. You got that cheek area and down. And I also like the neckline. When you get a really nice clean neckline here, to me that's really nice. And of course, then after that, you got these big open fields that you got to watch out for. They get a lot of hits in them. And overall, really a clean coin. And of course, you got to have a really clean coin on both sides. Also a well-struck coin. This one they called a 66. So every now and again, you get a coin that comes back a grade higher than you expected, not just lower than you expected. I actually considered both these coins to be kind of in the 5 range, but they'll average out for me. When I talk about the strike on the other coin, look at the flatness over the ear. Now, let me see here if this one, if I can take a look here, if it's any better or worse. You can see the ear is a little stronger on this coin than on this one, and this is actually pretty subtle. If you see the top of the ear, the hairline there, that flatness, and then on this guy, it's just got a little bit more detail to it. Really a nice strike overall on that 64. The 66 bids at about 1,100. Nice looking coin. Last but not least, because it wouldn't be a show without me looking a fool. So this coin is a kind of an interesting coin. Very obviously, it's been cleaned. It has these lines on it that you'll see You'll see coins get cleaned like this lots of times when they put them into belt buckles, where it just looks like they ran it through a sander or something. And you're going to think that this is silly, or maybe you won't think this is silly. I sent this in for a very specific reason, and I'll tell you in a minute what it is. I want to point out a couple things on this 20-cent piece first, this 1875. One of the things is I want to point out, we'll take a closer look on the design difference between this and a seated quarter or half. The word Liberty is actually outstanding. It stands up. It is not incuse. It is more obtuse like myself. And one of the other things I want to point out is you see this coin has a second rim to it, but only on half the coin. And I'm looking at this coin, I'm like, I know it's been cleaned. It's got those funky hairlines to it, which nobody wants to see, right? All that. Nobody wants to see that. But you see just all the sharpness going on over here. And in my monkey brain mind here, I thought, you know, God, maybe that's a proof that somebody cleaned. You know, that's what I was thinking. So anyway, they are just calling this AU details, not proof details. I went ahead and set it in and just said, hey, you know, is this a proof? They're calling it an unk. I am not going to get a second opinion on it. I think it was just fine sending it in. It's a funky coin, and maybe it'll be a funky price at Funky Town, but a proof is probably worth double as much as the uncirculated version on this coin, even with the cleaning, right? Whatever the unk, you know, whatever the mint state coin goes for, the proof coin probably goes for double. So, all right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.